This is Shaun Sport in podcast form.
Well, the Australian Grand Prix takes place over the weekend over in Melbourne, obviously, and they're looking for the biggest crowd that's ever taken... Well, the biggest crowd that's ever gone to an F1 event, and that is held by Silverstone over in the UK.
Wow.
Perfect timing, actually. We go to Damien Hill, who was an absolute champion on the racetrack himself. Damon, the Aussies are trying to knock off the Poms in this one.
Oh, not again. Come on, guys. We've got to learn to live together.
We do. You know what? Because we all share one thing and we love neighbours.
I thought that Adelaide, I went to Adelaide and they were saying that actually that was the biggest one-off appearance until Austin or something. So with 95, when we left Adelaide, then that was, up until that point, was the biggest single sporting event for Grand Prix. But I think it doubled the population of Adelaide with just the Grand Prix. But then I think Austin had it. So, I don't know, British Grand Prix definitely gets quite a few people through. And, yeah, it's great. There's so much support, and it's brilliant to see, they'll be, get well supported here at Melbourne too.
Damon, back when you were driving and comparing it to today, do you look at the drivers and the cars and the technology and just go, oh, God, they've got it easy?
No, I definitely don't think that. I think they work harder now as drivers. There's more extraneous stuff that they have to do, which I always found very distracting. And I wanted to focus on the racing, but now they have to do a lot more work on their media, and also engineering-wise, it's a much bigger task.
Yeah.
It's much more. They're more like fighter pilots now. They have to.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So it's more technical.
They're super fit as well, aren't they, Damon? Were you the same?
Yeah. Was that fit? Yeah, I was one of the first fit ones, I think. But Michael Schumacher was super fit, and before me there were people like Nigel Mansell who claimed to be fit, but he was immensely strong. I don't know what he did to train. I think he just played golf. But anyway, it was before that time. Are you there? Because I've got my phone.
Yeah, no, we're still here.
Yeah, I dropped my phone.
I'm glad you're not driving.
I've got to tell you a funny story.
Yeah.
I sat down as we do with our phone in our hands the whole time. I sat down for the Saudi Grand Prix, and I was just about before the start, and I was tweeting something. I dropped my phone in a cup of tea. So anyway, thankfully didn't land a cup of tea.
What a very English predicament, by the way, David.
Very good.
Hey, do drivers, they're not allowed to have their phones in their pocket, are they? Do they?
While you're driving.
Does anyone take their mobile phone with them?
Well, they got communications through their headsets.
Yeah, I know, but you know how you sort of have your phone with you?
Oh, just in case your missus gives you. What do you want for dinner?
Damon, do they drive with their phones in their pockets?
I think it's in their contract now. They have to do social media posting while they're racing.
How good would it be
So
if you...
here's me in my...
Yeah, if you're following on Twitter and Daniel Ricciardo just tweets, I'm going to overtake this guy. How good would that be, though?
Yeah,
great.
Exactly. Well, that would be great. I mean, it'd be brilliant because you could throw people off the scent, couldn't you? Say, I'm coming in the pit now, and you just go sailing past, and they're going to have somebody, and that would be brilliant. Yeah. I'm sure we're getting well into the realms of disinformation. And, that's the way of the world at the moment, isn't it? We can't lose anything.
Hey, it certainly is. The way of the world at the moment, Damon, is that Max Verstappen just keeps winning and the Red Bull car seems to be faster than ever. Now, being a former driver, was it frustrating to know that some cars are just faster and therefore people aren't judging who's the best driver here? It just seems to be who's in the best car. And I'm not saying he's an outstanding driver, by the way.
Yeah, I didn't care. If I got the fastest car, I was quite happy. If people were upset about how boring it was watching me going round in the lead, because at the end of the day, I got out and I got the trophy and went home. So, but you're right, it is not good if the TV fans don't see a race. And also as a driver, you want the satisfaction of knowing you raced in a brilliant race. So my highlight of my career was in Suzuka in '94 when I beat Michael in the wet. Very difficult conditions, hardest race in my life, and it kept the championship alive. And of course, famously went down to the last race in Adelaide. And so, from a satisfaction point of view, I remember that one, and I hardly remember the other ones that were easy.
Well, we're going to look forward
You know
to a
what?
massive Grand Prix
Yeah.
this
I
weekend.
cannot wait for Elon Musk to build a car and then for it to be driverless.
Driverless and electric.
So they cannot talk about the driver. That's right. It literally is the car, like Lightning McQueen.
He's bound to do something like
Yeah,
that.
that's right.
We're looking forward to the Australian Grand Prix. You'll be watching all of it, obviously, and calling all the action. Massive crowds, as I
Yeah.
said, expected.
Big,
and
huge.
hopefully our Australian drivers can go well. Oscar Piastri, no doubt, he could be a top 3. For sure, he could possibly win it. And, of course, Daniel Ricciardo looking to finish in the top 10.
Yeah, and I keep rooting for Danny. He's had a bit of a hiccup at the start, but he'll be back. And we're looking for both of them to get a good result for you Australians. We've got Lando Norris alongside Oscar there in the McLaren team. So he's a tough nut to crack. Oscar's going to have to do pretty amazing stuff to beat Lando, but he's had a great start last year, so every chance he can.
Good on you, Damon.
Thanks,
Great to meet
Damon.
you.
Damon.
Alrighty,
Bye, mate.
Cheers, mate.
thanks a lot. Cheers.
Shaun Sport in podcast form.
Good to have the big Shaun Darcy in the studio. He's not playing at the moment, getting over a knee injury, but I
He's
did hear
loving rehab,
on the
though.
grapevine.
Yeah, that's it.
Grapevine.
No, that's it.
That you're back running, in particular on the Ultra G.
Yep. So run twice this week at 85% body weight, and then get going Friday, hopefully 90-95%.
Can you tell everyone about the machine itself?
So it's a treadmill basically that you zip yourself up to, and it puts pressure and creates air, so you're not running at your full body weight. So it's pretty cool.
Let's talk about your full body weight. It is less. It is less. You are looking svelte.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Do you know how much you've dropped?
Yeah, a bit. Yeah, it was a goal of mine after my ankle surgery to not come back as heavy, and so there's not much.
So
there's
are
not
you
stress.
spewing, therefore, that the footy record no longer publishes players' weight?
yeah. But mine hasn't changed since I've been drafted there either. So
Yeah.
it stays the same every year.
I think that's one of the most stupidest things I think they've ever come up with. Fair
They're
dinkum.
dropping the weight.
They don't put it in the
Yes.
in the record anymore.
Yeah.
Because people, who's going to get offended over that?
Yeah.
I know how much I weigh, 87.
So when are they going to start saying listing height as offensive
yeah,
as well?
they're-
Yeah.
oh, it's too. Yeah.
I mean, well, Sean gets height shamed all the time, don't you?
It
Well,
kills me.
people don't realise though, because people just think, like tall people, you've had a life of being called big fella, firstly,
Yes,
big
I
fella,
have.
and then
How's the
also
weather
how
up
many
there?
webs have you walked through?
Yeah, a couple.
Yeah, yeah.
How's the weather up there? You get
Yeah,
How's the
yeah.
weather up there?
Things like that.
Yeah, you have to get things off the high shelves for people
yeah.
in supermarkets.
Yeah, I've been talking to Darcy about his recovery, and just because it blows my mind how you can go to training and then come home and then do more on your own back, and that
Yeah.
blows my mind. And Darcy was telling me about how he's got a exercise bike set up and he watches something on TV and does that. But then you've got an ice bath at home. Tell everyone about purchasing your ice bath. What happened?
Yeah, so I was I got this fiberglass bin sort of thing that that I purchased as an ice bath, and I was after surgery. I think I was a bit high from the drugs, and I thought I was buying it from Australia, but it was from America. So it was like $800 Australia. I was like, that's a really good deal.
That's
but
a
then
good deal.
ended up being $1,500 to
Yes.
$2,000 plus shipping.
The
So
old US dollar.
Is it the right size for you, big
yeah,
man?
no, it's a proper
Yeah.
XL. It's a really good one. But yeah, I was like, what? Oh, I couldn't
how much-
work it out.
How much do you have to spend on ice to?
So
fill
I have
it?
a freezing machine that
You've got your-
cools
yeah.
the
I like
water.
from the fridge.
Yeah. No, you just plug
Oh,
it
you
into the wall.
plug it in and it just
cools
it
water.
right down.
We bought a freezer, so a chest freezer, which we use.
Yes.
You just plug that in, but bloody electricity bill goes through the roof. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it is a bit pricey,
Yeah.
but that's all right.
Lucky
Yeah.
with Pleco.
Yeah.
That's right. The other thing is that when you have... Thank you.
No, thank you, Pleco.
Super plug for
The
Palico.
other thing in my house, we have a lot of different people come around. The kids bring... And so the water gets so gross.
Oh,
That's
no.
right.
yuck. And you know what? Growing up, remember when your mum would say you're having bath second? It's like,
Yeah,
no.
Yeah.
And you're
I
the
know that-
youngest, and you
yes.
get pushed
And you're
in
just
the
like,
last.
you're
You're
just
like,
in
no,
a
that's
pool
not
of
it.
your brother's filth.
Yes.
Why was that okay?
And you know they weed in there.
Of course
Yeah.
they do.
100%.
You'd hold on to wee in there.
Does the Ice Bath XL also serve as a dog washing station for a Great Dane?
No, he hates the water at the moment. I think I was buggered up by putting him in
In too young.
the ocean when he was about 12 weeks. And
Yeah, freaked him
he's,
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
scared a little bit. So We're trying to get him in the pool, but he's not jumping.
He's like,
in
no,
yet.
thank you.
Nah.
Let's talk fish fingers.
Fingers.
I think it's time.
Also, the
what's your-
Dockers one, that was great, whatever.
What,
Yeah.
I'm coming back to that.
what is your experience with fish fingers?
Oh, not much. Yeah.
Did your mum feed them to you when you were a kid?
Not really.
No.
This is a generational thing. This is what I mean. These kids that are born with
Kids of
silver
today.
fish in their mouth.
All eating proper
I grew
fish.
up on a farm, so we just had
Yeah.
beef every.
So did I,
Yeah.
and that was it. But we did get the fish fingers from time to time.
Sean's got some in his freezer. And why wouldn't
And
you,
Chico
Sean?
rolls.
Bird's eye, fish
rolls.
fingers, 40 for a box. That's a kilo. And they're like, it's like $10 or $12.
Where's
That's
that,
a
Costco?
bargain. No, that's at Woolworths. And then went straight down to the reviews, Darcy, as we do to
reviews.
see if they're any good. And this person, Roosters, it says, great, the best finger you'll taste.
That's high
First review,
praise.
5
High
stars.
praise.
Happy with it.
Very happy with it. I tell you what, you were happy with getting off to a good start over the weekend, beating Brisbane at home.
Yeah, the boys played really well. I was a bit worried about when we were 4 goals to
Yeah,
nil
it was a
down,
tough start,
so,
wasn't it, Rocky?
But they were tough. They were strong. They stayed on task the whole time, and a few injuries down in the second half, and the boys gritted their teeth and played really good footy, and they were really tough. Which
I know it sucks when somebody gets injured, but are you like, oh, I've got a new rehab friend?
Oh, that's exciting. Someone else is
not
in
the
prison.
big ones. The big ones like Coxie, who had surgery. He had
Yeah.
surgery a couple of days, and his partner's pregnant tomorrow, so she's her due date's tomorrow. So, and then Oscar, I think he's going into surgery. So
Yeah,
those
right.
those
That
ones
sucks.
kills. It killed me because
Yeah.
knowing how much work both of those boys had done, and then Carlos was pretty scary, that concussion. So the boys are looking really good. They're positive. So hopefully we can cover them. And then, get them back and get them fit.
Have you ever been concussed during your career?
Yeah, I've been concussed a couple of times.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
it because you fell and hit your head on the ground?
Yeah, because I'm not
Because no one's
thinking
going to
anyone will
hit
get
you
to
in the
your
head, surely.
Nader kneed me in the head.
Where was he coming from? Did you jump out of a
He
plane?
jumped really high. He got me. And
Yes.
then I was picking up a ground ball and got hit by a St Kilda bloke and was out.
Did you feel concussed? Oh, so you're out.
Yeah,
so,
both
but
of them
The
I
other one,
was-
oh, okay, you knew
You were
you
knocked
done.
out.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the St Kilda one, woke up on the ground, and then Nader, I was delayed concussion, and
Yeah, right.
I was just like real angry after the game, and
Yeah.
I think it was Aaron Sanderland's last game, and I went to his function, and really loud music, and I was like really dizzy,
couldn't
and I
handle
couldn't
it,
walk,
yeah.
and went to the toilets and threw up, and delayed
Oh,
concussion.
God.
Yeah.
That's serious.
So
yeah.
when someone's got a really bad concussion, as we're seeing a lot of AFL players have, does that sort of what Shaun experienced, does that happen just regularly afterwards? What is it?
Oh, I remember people being sick, which is one.
Yeah, but
which-
I know that's directly afterwards. But
Yeah.
but
Oh, the
yeah.
long-term
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Does that you know how people get long COVID? Like, does it, the effects of what a concussion is? Does that
No, it
carry
depends
through?
on each individual.
Yeah,
and
which
how
kind of sucks.
badly
There's
it
no
is.
predictor
So
really, is
that's,
there?
That's
Yeah.
the really hard thing that we're finding.
Yeah.
That it's not a hamstring that 21 days.
Yeah.
This is what you have to do to
Yeah.
get back. Each individual is very different in how they do it. So
Full on.
there was one, I had the bad one that I woke up on the ground. I was good to go the next day, had no lingering effects, no headaches, no nothing. And then the one where I didn't get concussed,
Didn't get knocked out, yeah.
I was really bad for a couple of weeks. So
Yeah.
that's the hard thing that we're finding, that that we don't really understand it too much.
But you did say it's not like a hamstring when it's got 21 days, but it actually is like a muscle injury because people recover and have different variations of them if it's a tendon or whatever the case is. So, some can be... It's very similar in that fact. You've done this injury and you could be right in a day, but the reality is someone else could be 5 weeks. You've seen the guy, Nathan... Is it Brown? Murphy, sorry, from Collingwood.
Yep.
He hasn't been able to play since the grand final. I mean, they've started the season a couple of weeks
Yes.
ago, but he only just started participating in full contact training, and we're talking months there.
Yeah, so it's pretty scary. And they're finding out that initially that we said rest was really good for you, but you sort of want to get to doing some light activity to get your blood flow moving to the brain and things like that. So we're finding out that really works. That's something that we've changed
Yeah, right.
in the AFL concussion program. So it's scary. It's a serious issue, and all
Yeah, and the
boys are taking
long-term
it
effects
really,
of what
really
is a
seriously.
big concern over that.
Yeah, well, the
obviously.
Dockers are up against North Melbourne on Saturday. Quick turnaround, couple of injuries. Hopefully they can continue
They played
the
all right
run.
last week too, North Melbourne.
Yeah,
They
did.
They did pretty
it's
well.
a really dangerous game, actually,
Yeah.
particularly with the injuries. Shaun, hope the boys go well.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks,
Good on
guys.
you. Thanks, Darth.
Shaun Sport in podcast form.
Well, we're certainly hopeful that WA will have the three-peat by the end of 4 days against Tasmania in the Sheffield Shield. One man who would have played, I reckon he's played in at least a back-to-back victories for WA in the Sheffield Shield, and that's Brendon Julian, the great man. Am I right, BJ?
No.
No surprises
Okay,
there.
97,
Okay.
97, 98, you would have won it.
Talk us through your career, BJ. How many Sheffield Shields?
What's the back-to-back? Oh, you could talk about my career in about 2 minutes.
No, you can't. 97, 98, I reckon you were winning. You won it.
Was that back-to-back?
Yeah, it was back to
Yeah, I
what?
can't
The following season.
See, cricket's so boring you can't even remember it.
Sorry, you're correct. I thought you were talking about three-peat. No, I've never done that, but yes, sorry, you're right.
Oh, you thought you were
Thank
talking about
you.
wearing a three-piece suit.
Yes.
Yes. The vest was a winner back in the early 90s. I used to wear that out to gobbles.
Hey, BJ, did you ever used to remember there was a wave there where guys were buying $50 black blazers from a place called Renoir's? Did you ever go there?
Yeah, mate. I never did that. I was never going to do that. I remember that. I used to go the long and the tall, or the short and the small.
Yes,
Whatever
yeah.
one of those shops.
Yeah.
King
Oh,
size.
Danny Barhoff.
BJ, wasn't that the 98 Sheffield Shield final? Wasn't that when you basically won it off your own bat? That was you, wasn't it?
Oh, see, you're so good. I love people like you. Well, I got 100. No, I didn't win it. There were lots of other people that contributed. I just came in and took the glory at the end.
Yeah,
No,
but you
you
smacked it all over the place,
did.
didn't you? You got 124.
Yeah, I was a bit lucky. I
Hey,
think it
BJ,
Why are you
BJ,
playing
can
it down?
I just talk to you for a second? And let's just talk to each other, right? Who has trodden you down so much
that you
are
won't
not
take the
going
glory?
to look at what you've done in your career and celebrate it? What's happened? Who's hurt you? Who's hurt you?
I've only played 7 test matches. I mean, you know, I only played when people got injured. So I was very lucky.
But everyone loves the
Mate.
substitute teacher.
For sure.
That's right. Dead right.
Shaun, do you do
No, I
this?
think I followed BJ's career.
Yeah,
I
no,
thought
but
he was
I'm saying,
outstanding.
like all your achievements. Do you
Yeah.
talk them down? Do you talk them down?
Absolutely not. You've heard me.
I know.
Earlier
This is
this
my
morning,
thing.
BJ, we caught up with Formula One driver Damien Hill, and his Instagram handle is still 96 F1 champ. He's still, that was 28 years ago. Yeah. So you need to really
Well,
claim your glory.
Okay, I'm going to start to revisit my social media, and I've never been on. What's it called? Instagram? No, I don't.
Yeah.
Facebook?
Yeah.
No, I don't know what that is.
But okay, I can make your handle right now because you said you used to wear. I'm going to the place where they
Yeah,
sold long
goggles.
clothes. We'll have Perth's longest BJ at Perth's longest BJ.
Doesn't get any better than that.
Right, now let's talk about the game for a second.
Yes.
We were just talking off air the bad news about Cameron Bancroft, which we found out a couple of days ago. Now, there's a reason why you don't wear lycra and zing around on
Yeah.
your bike, and this is one of them.
Well, what I can't understand, 1 minute they're falling off the back of golf carts, a la, Maxwell.
Yes.
And the next minute they're falling off their bike. I mean, I wouldn't even tell anyone that I fell off my bike. I'd just get on with it and say, mate, and roll up and play the game. That's embarrassing.
So
You know
why,
what?
why is your face grazed off, though?
Well, my
Fella,
thing
things
is
happen.
go and do what you want to do, scuba diving, skydiving, whatever, but just always carry a cricket bat to say that you were practicing.
But falling off a bike, seriously? I mean, come on. You got to be a bit harder than that, surely.
Oh, we desperately need him. Do you reckon they can hold up? I saw Sam Whiteman on the box last night, and he was like, "Oh yeah, no worries." But you got to bring in a couple of newbies, and that team's been going. Sorry.
Yeah, that'll be hard to replace Bancroft. I mean, he's really good. He's been really good in the last couple of years. Big bonus, I think, Aaron Hardy coming back. He's a gun. I reckon this is a guy that will play for Australia for a long time. I'm a big fan of him, Aaron Hardy, the all-rounder. So hopefully he'll definitely score runs. And then, you got Darcy Short at the top there. Sam Whiteman's had a great season as well. So I think they've got it covered, but it won't be easy. I mean, it's basically a second 11 side for WA, but I think they've got the players that can get out and win the game. But Tasmania looked pretty sharp, but travelling all the way to the west, playing at the Wacker, yeah, that won't be easy for them either.
BJ, do you think that Cam got in a little bit of trouble for doing this extracurricular activity? Because who was the footballer that injured himself on the trampoline?
Sharad Wellingham, for the
Sharad
West Coast
Wellingham,
Eagles.
one of the funniest things ever. And we were discussing it at the time, and
As a coach, you'd just be like,
they're like,
oh, for
you're
God's
kidding
sake.
me.
Yeah.
what do you think, BJ?
Yeah, well, I don't think it's good. I don't think it's good when when that type of thing happens and it's one of your key players. I'm surprised that it must be really, really bad for him to miss the game. I mean, concussion, really, everyone's sort of missing games like that at the moment like that. So I don't think it's good for the side. But, and the thing with Cam Bancroft, right, is if he gets runs, he's been scoring runs, but if he gets a big 100 in the Sheffield Shield final, I think he could play Test cricket next summer.
No, he can't.
They
Why?
just
Because
refuse
Dave
to pick
Warner,
him.
Pat Cummins won't have him in the team, mate.
Oh, you got Shaun angry.
No, I reckon he could push his way in there. I reckon it's not as locked in as what people think.
Well, if he could push his way in, he should have already on his
He's earned his
form
spot.
in the last
He's
2
earned his spot.
years.
I know
Surely.
Dave Warner's out, so maybe that's a different thing.
Yeah. Well, it's just, look, this thing with Steve Smith at the top deal is still a bit of an experiment, so I don't think it's locked in. So, you've got to force your way in, and I think a big 100 in the final does that. So that'll be the disappointing thing for him, I reckon.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And what happens if he moved to New South Wales and played for New South Wales last year? He probably gets a game next year.
Straight in. Yeah,
Is that what happened with you with Fox Sports? You decided to leave WA and go to Sydney, and then you went, oh, yep, now I've got a
Hunting
spot.
glory.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, you got to go. You got to go with the workers, don't you? You got to go with the opportunities, huh? So that's the way it rolls.
Are you still a West Australian, true and blue?
Yeah.
True and blue.
Really?
Well, I tell you what, I'm nearly getting off West Coast. That's killing me over here. I mean, they are in serious trouble.
You can't jump off, though, just because it's a bit of a lean time. Otherwise,
Mate.
no one would have ever barracked for the Dockers.
No, mate, they have just got to get their act together. I said that to Donny Pike. I said, mate, if you don't get them going this year, I'm going to the Swans.
Don't go to
just go and
Swans.
buy
If
that
you're going to
membership.
jump
It's gonna
off
be a long
onto
one.
something else, go to the Giants at least, because they're a bit of fun.
They got a bit of song.
It's too far.
It's miles away.
I don't know. I
You
don't think
eastern suburbs snob.
I don't think he's a WA person.
No,
anymore.
I know. The signs are there.
The tunnel here. Who's the tunnel named after?
Polly Farmer.
Okay.
That one.
Next one. What suburb did IKEA move to?
Oh, that.
And what freeway exit is the best to take to get there?
Shit, I would know this. Hang on. They moved out where all the cinemas are. Out at that way, isn't it? Anyway.
Well,
Out
there
that
you
way.
go.
Out towards Wanneroo. Out the freeway. Wanneroo.
Wanneroo?
No, towards one.
You know what's happened? Since he stopped selling
Yeah.
land down in Dunsborough, around Dunsborough Lakes,
He's lost his credibility.
really changed.
Yeah, everybody bought it though, so he did a good job.
Yeah, I didn't know they were still selling it down there. Oh, my God. Believe that.
You need to get some residuals on that.
Stage 45.
BJ,
we know
thanks,
you're
mate.
barracking for West Australian. You are a West Australian. You're a Sheffield Shield
Stay
champion,
with the
mate.
Eagles. We'll come good.
No, don't stay with them, mate. You're with the Swans. They're going to have a lean year, the West Coast.
Oh yeah, but you don't just jump off because his team's having a lean year, Shaun.
Yeah, I don't reckon you do. I reckon you do take a sabbatical for a couple of years and then come back later on when they're high flying.
I don't know. That seems like an Eastern
You
States
fair
attitude, doesn't
weather
it?
friend. All right, thanks, BJ.
Bye, BJ.
See you, mate.
Shaun Sport is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.